So here are 7 different instances of Hummingbot, each running as Docker containers on AWS. And I'm managing this from a dashboard on my local computer. I can use this to create new bots. I can use it to basically resize and see the status of each of these bots. And I can also manage the configurations of each of these different bots, as well as the strategies and the scripts that they have access to. So if you want to check out how I did this, stay tuned because I'm going to show you from end-to-end workflow of deploying an instance on AWS EC2, then installing this dashboard, which is open source and free, on that instance, and then using it to deploy and manage various instances of trading bots. This is very much an experimental tool, but we're really excited about getting community feedback on it. So I wanted to create this demo in order to get feedback from the community. So stay tuned. So the first step is to create an instance on AWS. So we're going to go over here to EC2. So this is basically, if you can't find this, you can always just go to services and search EC2 here, and it'll take you to this management console. So I already have one instance running. This is basically the one that I have over here, where I can see the dashboard on that instance. And so what we're going to do is create a new instance. So you can go over here and launch instances. One thing to note is that you may want to change the location you're in. So if that impacts the exchange you have access to, so I'm actually going to change this to Tokyo because I believe that's where Binance and some of the other crypto exchanges are. So I can launch an instance there, and I'll call that dashboard 2. So Ubuntu is the normal one that we recommend, and for instance type, for now, because we're going to install Docker, and other things on this, and then also build the dashboard from source. You're going to need an instance with a bit more memory, so we recommend a T2 large for now. And in the future, after we get a Dockerized, more stable version of dashboard, it's likely that you can deploy this on a smaller instance. So we can create a new key pair for this. So let's create a new key pair, and we'll show you how to do that. So let's call this Hummingbot Dashboard. And then let's create that key pair. And then so they'll be downloaded, and I'm going to move that to my Dropbox, where I can share that with my other accounts. So so the rest of it, we also recommend a bit more storage, because because that would 1 second. Yeah. So because you may have when we have Docker on there and other things, you might kind of exceed the 8 gigabytes of initial storage that they recommend. So now that you pick that, you should be able to launch instance. Okay, so now that our instance is created, let's go into it. The first thing before we go into it, let's change the networking, and add a security group rule here, because what we want is we want to edit the inbound rules and add a a TCP/IP for the port 8501, and that will allow us to access this dashboard, which will be on 8501 from our local machines. What is that? I don't know. Anywhere. Yes. There you go. So there you go. So now, basically, now you can access your dashboard using this port, and so now we can connect to our instance. So let's go to the instance, and the way that we recommend you connect to it is that you take this IP address over here, by IP, and you create something called a host file. So you can do that by going to your terminal. So let's say here on terminal, and let's open a new one over here. And we're going to edit something on our local machine, and we can edit the ssh.config file. So in your code editor, open ssh/config. So that will open up this file here. So this file is in your root, should be in your root machine, and so I already have one host here, which is the first bot. So on another one, and I want to use the IP using this IP address here. Is it this one? Yeah, it should be here. Copy this here, and here. And I believe that the user was should be Ubuntu, because that's a default username, and the PEM file, which was one that I had saved earlier, that one is now Hummingbot Dashboard /PEM. So I'll use this new PEM file that will allow me access this one here. So now if I go to my terminal again, I should be able to access access this server, which I've called Dashboard 2 over here. So let's hope this works. Oh, there you go. So that didn't work, and actually now that I see it, I put Hummingbot -PEM over here. That's probably one reason why that didn't work. However, I do think there's probably another reason why this didn't work, which is, importantly, you have to basically set a read-only permission onto that PEM file. So let's actually add that now. Dashboard PEM. So if you use chmod 400 and then the location of the file, let's just set the right permission onto the file, and then now try that again. Okay, so now we are in the server. So so just one thing to note is that if you do get this permission denied public key, that's when you should set the chmod 400 permission on the file. All right, so now that we're in the file, we can begin and install the dashboard. So if you have any questions about the installation process, you can go over here and to the dashboard GitHub and click on this installation link, which has the requirements. So let's go through these. And the first thing we're going to do is install Docker Engine. So here's the instructions for installing Docker Engine in Ubuntu. Yeah, I'm just going to kind of just run through all these commands and copy each one and paste them here. Okay. This is adding their key. I'll probably fast forward to this part in the video. But basically just copy each of these different commands until you finish installing Docker on this machine. Okay. So, and then I think then they recommend that you run this hello world Docker container to check that it's correct, and it looks like it is correct. So now that we've installed Docker, so now we should install Miniconda or Anaconda. This is a package manager that pulls together all the Python dependencies that Dashboard needs. So, so we can go to the Miniconda page here, and then go to their Linux documentation. So Linux, it's over here. Let's see, so the easiest one is, let's see, is a Linux installer. So here is the Linux one over here, and so okay, well, so because it's like this. The easiest way to do this is actually using the wget command. We actually have some directions over here in Hummingbot docs. So if you go to installation from source and Linux, here's a command you can copy that will install the latest Miniconda version from the command line. So I'll just copy this section and over here. So Miniconda makes you read their terms and conditions carefully. Unfortunately, if you hit enter too many times, it's gonna hit no and do it over. Do it over again. So like this. But hopefully this time we can take it slower and answer yes. Yes. Okay. Now that Miniconda is installed, you can do source, let's see, bash rc. And after that, the conda command should be available from the command line. So now that we've done it, now we can install the Hummingbot dashboard itself. So if you go to dashboard, you can clone the repo like this. So let's clone the repo. And actually, we can follow along the installation instructions here. So we've cloned the repo. Now we can go into the dashboard, and we can run this make and create command, which will install this, assuming that we install apt-get. Oh, actually, that's right. There's actually we can actually do this. We can install this build essential package. This should actually update make and some other utilities that you might need. So let's do that. There's this purple screen you have to go through. Okay. All right. So now that we do have make, we should be able to continue and run this command here, which installs the conda environment and dependencies. So this will take a bit longer, and if you see a message that says something like killed, it's likely because you're using a machine with too low memory, and so if that happens, then I recommend setting up a machine with larger memory on AWS or another cloud server. So that's why I have an 8 gig memory machine. So this will take a little while, but now after a few minutes, it will download and install all the Python libraries that Dashboard needs. Okay, now that the environment has been created, now we can activate that environment with conda activate dashboard, and now we should be ready to go to run the dashboard with the streamlit run main.py command. But before I do that, I'm going to run this command here to enable Docker permissions. And that's because I know that because it's an Ubuntu machine, I'm going to have to, whoops, this is actually be 666. I'm going to have to do this in order to allow the dashboard to use Docker to create and manage instances. Okay, so once I've done that, let's try this. Stream it, run main.py command, and let's see if it works. So now this dashboard is running here, and because we've added 8501 to the security group, let's see if I can go and access that URL from my browser. Yep, and there you go. Here's a dashboard. Here's a Streamlit dashboard that's running in the browser. There's a bit of a display bug right now that we'll fix soon, so you may have to hit refresh to see the right table layout. And so what we have here is really a collection of pages that some of which are built by Hummingbot Foundation. So we're building the bot orchestration and the backtest manager sections. And some folks from the community are building these pages here. And we hope that over time, we'll set the templates, kind of set the examples on how to lay out these pages and what components to use. And the folks down here can reuse some of the components we're using over here. So to give you a quick tour, the bot orchestration section is what helps you deploy and manage Hummingbot instances. So this is the Hello World instance that we started with Docker earlier. This is not Hummingbot instance, but this is just a normal Docker instance over here. The file manager one, this page helps you manage the configurations of the bots that you've created, the strategy, and the script files. The backtest manager is something we're really excited about. It's still very much an alpha, but it's basically going to be something that helps you deploy, basically create a back-testable strategy. So right now, we're only starting with directional strategy templates. And then once you have that strategy template, you can then use the Optuna framework to then create a file that will optimize the different parameters on that strategy. And then we'll let you analyze the results of that optimization, and also drill down into one specific simulation in detail. So and then finally, there's some community pages. This page will help you analyze the performance of a bot. This one helps you download data and so forth. So let's show the bot manager dashboard in a bit more detail. And I think this is the one that's most valuable because it allows you to manage multiple bots running in the cloud. So that's a problem that I've always had trouble with because it takes a lot of time and effort to run and start and stop all these instances, as well as to monitor them from your local machines. So that's why we think that this dashboard can be something that anyone in the community can start using right away. So let's create an instance. So let's create bot 1 here. Oh, before I do that, I just remember I need to launch the broker in order to create instances. So the broker is a project that will basically allow you to monitor and control your bots. So now it's actually fetching the downloading the broker and establish it. So now let's refresh, and so now the broker is running. Now the broker is running, I can create an instance. So and I'll create a couple just to show you. So let's go to here, and so now it's it's actually pulling from Hummingbot, so it has to download the Hummingbot image in order to do that. So what it's really doing is it's basically pulling the Hummingbot Docker image and then launching that Docker image. So by default, we've set the password as A in all of these instances, which allows the broker to use them and to control them from the dashboard. Okay, so running. Let's see. Okay, so now we have these two instances. We can basically start and select a strategy config file or a script file to run with either of these two. But before I do that, let's go into one of these. And so go to your terminal and create a new window. And because you can basically use this window to SSH into your dashboard as well. So, and in here, I'm gonna just copy this and I'm gonna attach the instance. So now this is the actual instance, and in here I'm going to do two things. First, I will add API keys, so this will actually allow me to actually run bots using Live Capital. So I can add my KuCoin keys, and so I'll add them from my other screen over here. This is a test account, so don't worry. There's really not much, only a few dollars here, not worth hacking. Okay, and I'm doing this because this will save the KuCoin encrypted key in the file manager here, and now this bot instance can run bots on KuCoin and not just on the paper trading exchanges. In addition, I'm also going to create a strategy configuration file. So let's say I'm going to create a config file called pure market making. Let's say I'll do that KuCoin. And then I'll just do something simple like Matic USDT 0.1, 0.1, 10 seconds, maybe one Matic. No. And so this now saves this strategy config file that I can then start and run using this now here. So now I'm doing here. I can kill the instance, or I can just kill this right here and terminate. Okay, so now if I refresh this, I should be able to see the files I created here. So in Hummingbot 1, which was the one here. So now you see this conf puremarketmaking1.yaml. So if I do this and start, it should start that strategy. So you can see that once the bot's running, this will turn green. It should have the strategy name over here. There's a bug that we'll fix later on, and it'll also have the status as well as the list of trades that the bot has performed. Okay, so we're still going to format this later on, so you can see that this is the actual status from the bot itself. We'll fix the format here, and we'll kind of increase the number of controls that people can do to the bot. But I think it's already fairly useful in that you can already start to create a fairly complex dashboard, especially if you're running lots of different instances. So for this one here, I can create a new bot. So I'll just run the sample script over here. Okay, and so now I have two different bots running, and I can create more as well, all from this dashboard. So so if you also want to see kind of how much is available, you can just do it again. Let's create another one here, and let's go into our dashboard again, and let's take a look at how much of the capacity we're actually using here. So you can do free-h. So right now we have 8 gigs memory, and so we still have about 6 available with 2 instances. So I've done some testing here, and I think 7 or 8 is possible. After that, our Docker manager, which we kind of wrote ourselves, is going to start to not to scale very well. But in the future, we are going to try to make that better and scale it to more and more instances, as well as adding more functionality to the dashboard. So it's still very early, but we encourage you to try it out. And because we think that the use case of managing multiple bots in the cloud is already something that the dashboard can help people do more easily than they can do today. There's nothing more than live production feedback of people actually using it, for real, that will kind of guide us in what to add, what to fix next, and what to do next with the dashboard. Thanks, and we'll see you on the community calls.